The bipartisan vision embodied in our nation's clean air laws has been translated into healthier, longer, and more productive lives for millions of Americans. And while much of the Clean Air Act has been in place improving health for years, some key aspects of the law have never been implemented. They include requirements to reduce deadly mercury and other toxic air emissions from some of our oldest and dirtiest coal-fired plants. These toxic air pollutants are known to cause cancer, neurological damage, and other healthcare concerns. One example of particular concern is mercury. Up to 10% of childbearing women in this country have unsafe levels of mercury in their bodies. And today, all 50 states have mercury fish consumption advisories. In fact, there are more fish consumption advisories in the U.S. for mercury than for all other contaminants combined. Uncontrolled coal-fired utilities are our largest source of mercury in this country. And unfortunately, current control technology can dramatically reduce mercury emissions and mercury in our local environments. This is why Senator Alexander, several of our colleagues, and I have been trying for years to reduce emissions through legislation. It's also why 18 states have their own power plant mercury standards. Yet until recently, we lacked a federal standard. Last December, after years of delay, the EPA finally implemented, under court order, Clean Air Act protections to require dirty coal plants to clean up their mercury and air toxic emissions. The EPA did so through something called the Mercury and Air Toxic Standard Rule. By targeting our nation's largest sources of mercury emissions, this regulation requires dirty coal plants to reduce their mercury emissions by 90%. This will reduce the mercury that contaminates our streams and oceans, pollutes our fish, and harms our children's health. In implementing these long overdue regulations, the EPA has provided a reasonable and achievable schedule for our power plants to reduce these harmful emissions. EPA's new standard gives utilities until 2016 to comply, and EPA has also made it clear that it's willing to give companies 2 additional years to address reliability concerns if needed. Delaware power plants have already met these standards, and so do half the power plants throughout America. Most communities will see great benefits from these rules, and I'm told that nationally we'll see up to $90 billion in public health benefits. As someone who tried for years to work across the aisle to find a way to clean up our nation's power plants, I welcome the EPA's decision to act to finally address these harmful emissions. Regrettably, some of our colleagues don't share the appreciation that many of us feel for the EPA's efforts to protect public health and our environment. They want to prevent these efforts from moving forward, despite court orders requiring the EPA to do just that. I find it remarkable that some in Congress would seek to prevent the EPA from following through on a law passed overwhelmingly by Congress 22 years ago and signed by a Republican president. The EPA is doing what Congress told them to do over 2 decades ago. If we let them do their job, their effort will reduce harmful pollution, improve the health of generations for children to come. As much as I hate to say it, given my friendship with the author of this proposal, a vote for this Congressional Review Act would delay any real hope we have of cleaning up our largest source of mercury. A vote for the Congressional Review Act signals uncertainty and a lack of commitment, a commitment to make good on the law we passed overwhelmingly 22 years ago to protect public health in this country. We cannot afford to delay the mercury and air toxics rule. This is the time to modernize our energy fleet. This is the time to clean up our dirtiest, most inefficient plants. And this is the time to clean up our rivers, lakes, and streams so that all children can look forward to living healthier lives. So today I rise in strong opposition to this last-ditch effort to prevent the EPA from doing its job, a job we should have done, and reducing these deadly emissions, and I hope my colleagues will join us.